The topic of this video is how to export DSTV files in Raptor. In the pending part window, with parts showing as you see them here, you can either click on the header, in this case Tekla, and go to Export Parts, DSTV, or you can export a single part by right-clicking and choosing Export Part, DSTV. In this case, we're going to use the Tekla header and go to Export All Parts, DSTV. The DSTV export window opens, and you can see that we're on the General tab. We'll come back here momentarily once we go through the explanation of the other three tabs. The Shape Filters tab has additional profile tabs: angles, beams, channels, plates, tubes, and T-shapes. As you can see, all of these tabs are identical with the exception of just a couple additions. So once you learn one tab, you'll know the others. You can choose to export a particular profile or not, just simply by unchecking that box. Maybe you have many files in the list here and you don't want to export any angles that are in that list. You can just uncheck it, and in that case they will not be exported. You can choose what features to export in the files: copes, scribes, holes, pop marks. You can choose to export miters or not. And you can choose which direction you want your copes to go, whether you want the top flange to be clockwise, the web, the bottom flange, or the underside. You can force them to be clockwise if you would like them to be. For an angle, you also have the ability to create a bottom flange. In a normal DSTV file, the two surfaces of an angle are a web and a bottom flange. Within Raptor, we have a web and a top flange, so you would need to create that bottom flange here. Here you're just choosing which way, which axis you want to rotate that flange around, whether you want to rotate it around Z or whether you want to rotate it around X. And you can make those choices as needed. There's no difference for beams, channels, plates. On tubes, we also have the choice to export the inner radius. That would be the inside radius of the tube. So if you need to include that radius, you can simply by checking that box. And then T-shapes doesn't have anything different either. On the Folders tab, we're telling it exactly where we want to export the files to. And we can just simply browse to that location, choose the location, and say OK. And that would give us the location that we're exporting to. You can choose to embed the parts within a project folder. So at that point, it's going to look and see what project the Raptor files are in, and it will create the project folder and put those parts inside them. You can also create individual assembly folders, and you can create individual shape folders. If you create the individual shape folders, you also need to navigate and find different directories for each of the different shapes. On the Advanced tab, you simply have the choice to tell it how many decimal places you want, and if you want to add any comments or not, and then what file extension you need, whether it's .nc or .nc1. Once you've made those choices, you simply come back to the General tab. Here you can see that it created all of the files that we needed. Okay? That ends this video.